The severe weather system also brought heavy rain, lightning, and wind to parts of Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, and Texas. Taiwan's president has vowed to defend the island against China's rising pressure for reunification.
Taiwan.
Celebrations mark Taiwan's National Day. President Tsai Ing-wen promised to resist Chinese military threats. We will do our utmost to prevent the status quo from being unilaterally altered. A rare show of Taiwanese defense capabilities in the annual parade underlined her stance to maintain Taiwan's sovereignty. We will continue to bolster our national defense and demonstrate our determination to defend ourselves in order to ensure that nobody can force Taiwan to take the path China has laid out for us. I'm Karen Shamas.
Global shares are mixed amid persisting worries about energy shortages and weaker than expected jobs growth in the U.S. Shares fell in Paris, Frankfurt, and Sydney, but rose in Tokyo and London. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 131 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Supply chain disruptions, shortages, panic buys. Unfortunately, they've all become facts of life
Have
in
they?
2021.
Have they? Womp, womp, womp.
Not only will you find emergency
Patrick and Paul,
supplies,
Sarah and
water
Carrie.
filtration, air filtration, all sorts of other tools. Prepare
Bloop.
at mojo50.com. If you want to keep food on the table, if you
That
just want to
sign,
maintain some sense of
Ron.
normalcy, prepare with mojo50.com is the answer.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25
Hi, it's
Ministries.
Doc
Matthew
Thompson.
25
Isn't he
Ministries
dead?
is one of the few charities I'll
think
actually
so.
endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost
Yeah, I
all
don't know
the
where
money
that
you
image
donate
came from.
goes to
Did
help.
you just search
Go
it
to
on Google?
m25m.org. m25m.org.
To you live.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries
Not me
is one of
live,
the
but I
few
don't know where
charities
you
I'll
got
actually
that.
endorse
It's a
because
little
I
more
know
animated
them.
than you
I've
normally
worked
are,
with them,
but
and I know almost all the money that you donate
it's
goes to
you.
help people. Go to
Ass.
m25m.org. m25m.
JLB is in the house. And then she's leaving the house.
Triggering change one heartbeat at a
Brenda
time.
Leprechaun.
That is the purpose of Battle for Freedom. Our biggest challenge is helping people see
They
that they
can't
are
be that
constantly
stupid,
moving
can they?
towards settled.
Oh,
They
I
are
got
not settled in life because they are
that. I got you got that off our website. That's where it came from.
Is that where I got it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just Googled it.
Yeah.
It popped up.
One of the most essential branches of English study is the freedom of one
Oh, goodness. All right.
man's house is his castle. I host Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday for this very
Sometimes.
Our
Sometimes he
freedom
does.
because we have made too many allegiances to ideologies and
Have we?
movements solely created to keep us distracted, divided, and distanced from our foundation.
All right, let's do it.
Join me
No.
on Battle for Freedom, where I trigger change one heartbeat at a time. Battle for Freedom.
Now.
Mojo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now.
Thank you.
Thank you. The mothership has landed. Brad Staggs. The mighty Mojo 50.
All right, they can't be this stupid, can they? They being the White House, the people in the, maybe they can. Maybe they are just this dumb. Maybe they are so clueless that they didn't mind the president being in a photograph with two other individuals standing in front of, I don't know if that's the White House. Yeah, it looks like it might be the White House. The president in the middle of the, between these two younger gentlemen, holding up a cardboard sign that says, "This dude gets it, folks." The gentleman on the left of the president holding up a sign that simply says "Let's," and then the rest of the sign is blank. And it's like, wait a minute. Hold on. This is like perfect for memes.
Oh, of course it is. That's what they built it for, I'm sure.
But seriously, the White House said, okay, this is a great idea. They let them stand there with these signs like this? I don't know, but it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant, and it has led to something of an onslaught of the memes. Now I see the big fail on this one though is the fact that somebody used American typewriter font underneath it. I mean, you need to use some font that looks like it was written in Sharpie. So this one says, let's start firing registered Democrats. Apparently discrimination is okay again. And then, of course, the president standing next to him with the implicit endorsement saying, yep, this dude gets it, folks. Which sounds about like something the president would say. I'm telling you, it's a clown world. It's nothing but a clown world out there.
Do you not suppose that the Let's sign actually did have something on it?
It didn't look like it. I guess it's possible. But the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, because I can't remember who first put it out there, but it was like, wait a second. This can't. But you know what? Everything else is so damn stupid. Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all. Ron, I want to just a quick shout out to you because you are really you're moving around a lot this morning over there.
I am stuck.
You are you're stuck in one position, so it's we have the official Ron Phillips publicity photo up in his place. We could have just had you come down the hall and sit here at the table with me, but that whole restraining order keeps you.
I found the original image, by the way,
with nothing behind it.
Oh, what?
What?
Oh,
there's nothing behind the original image.
No, I'm talking about the original image of the Biden holding.
Oh, the cardboard sign. Gotcha. Yeah, and it's blank, right?
No, it is not.
What's it say?
I'm about to send it to you.
Well, just say it.
It says, hang on, there it goes. It says, let's look out for each other and get vaccinated, is what the Let's sign says.
Really?
And then this dude gets it, folks.
Uh-huh.
But it is prime for memes, yes.
It's yeah. Okay, so somebody got in there and
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's a bunch of horse crap. I think it was actually blank from the beginning because that seems like something that the White House would be dumb enough to do. But who am I? What do I know? So, did you do anything exciting over the weekend?
Well, no, not until last night when the power went out and blew up one of my computers.
That's kind of sad when the power outage is the highlight of your weekend.
It is. It was. Yeah, actually, the highlight of my weekend was Saturday morning. Went out to what's called Miracle League here in Weatherford, and it's special needs kids that play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ball diamond out there built specifically for Miracle League.
Right.
Rocky had done it before, and he invited me this weekend. Had a fantastic time. I got to run the scoreboard.
Oh, good. Oh, they let you run the scoreboard.
Yeah, they did, buddy.
That's nice.
Everybody scores. Everybody gets a home run, and the score's always tied.
Nice.
But it is a fantastic time.
Well, for you.
Yeah, Miracle League, Parker County. Had a good time.
I spent a little time over at the Toyota Music Factory in Las Colinas. Mercury One had their 10-year anniversary. And Mercury One, I will give Mercury One credit. They have done some amazing things. Most particularly the Nazarene Fund, the creation of the Nazarene Fund, and the subsequent use of said funds to extract and remove Christians from danger around the world.
They did a lot with this Afghanistan thing.
Yeah, they sure did. And Bethy Knott was obviously instrumental in helping create that, and the new guy who is running it, is it Abdul Falar? Nope, that's not his name. I knew I'd forget it. It was right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, he's just an amazing guy. He's running this the Nazarene Fund, and they did some amazing things, getting people out of Afghanistan as well. And naturally, the federal government hates it when anybody makes them look bad. So I think they ran into some issues there. But it was a pretty incredible night. And listen to Tim Barton talk. Tim Barton.
I like Tim Barton.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, can he speak fast?
Yeah, he sat in for you a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
God bless him.
Could you understand him?
But he does. He talks fast.
He's a lightning talker. And this is, and at some point I want to get into the lesson that he taught regarding not only Jamestown, but also Plymouth. Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
He brought up some incredible points, and these are the things that aren't being taught in school anymore. These are the things that if students understood, if education was really what it should be, that we wouldn't have all these dumbasses running around out there. Dumbasses that are in college and are favoring socialism. I mean, I got a video from Campus Reform that it's like, what in the ever-loving F are we going to do if these are the future leaders of America? They're like, oh, yeah, socialist, great, love it. They just, I mean, they don't even understand what the government's there for. They have no idea.
Yeah.
They just think it's there to, write welfare checks or something. And then a story about a federal judge has ruled. This is what a clown world we're in. A federal judge has ruled against natural immunity, challenging the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. That's from Michigan State University. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. And why we have a judge.
Yeah, but then he tried to go back to a 1905 Supreme Court.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's all about, community health and safety, but they're ignoring the natural immunity that some people have. Well, I mean, why would that not be a consideration? That doesn't make any sense. That you wouldn't at least take the body's natural immunity and the ability to ward off infection or attack by something else and not take that at least into consideration.
Look, dude, when you have doctors out there going, what in the hell is this judge talking about? He has no idea. He's not a medical physician.
Right.
And there is nothing that says that this isn't adequate enough.
Right.
The antibodies. What's going on?
The whole thing is political.
It has to be.
Malone has come out, Dr. Malone, the inventor of the mRNA vaccine, and he has said now doctors are being hunted for speaking out. They're being hunted by the press, by medical boards, just for speaking out about their profession, about what it is they do. And I will also tell you about the calm and logical discussion I had with a doctor on Friday regarding the vaccine. I was surprised, and she was very. She obviously came down one side of the issue, and I on a different side of the issue. But I will give her this: she was not pushy. It was. I started understanding why doctors are saying what they're saying. Let me put it that way. Plus, later on in the program, Mish will be along to talk about crypto and Bitcoin and all of the rest, because Bitcoin is taking off again. So yippee-ki-yay. Hold on to, and I saw Stu on Saturday night. He, of course, now driving, gold-plated limousine and, has gold bling everywhere just because of his Bitcoin purchases, or sales, I should say. So that was fascinating. First, though, and thank you, Beaver, for sending this over on the Twitters. I had not seen it, but there is apparently one of the emergency food suppliers out in Salt Lake City, a company called Augustin Farms, is having to shut down for a few days, like 90 days, because of the supply chain disruptions. Not good. Not good at all, which means if I were you and you haven't done it, I would go to preparewithmojo50.com and get your emergency food supply. Because if the supply, there's nothing magical about what the folks at Patriot are doing, My Patriot Supply, which is, of course, where all of this comes from. But use the URL preparewithmojo50.com. That way we get a piece of the action. Just it's your way of showing us some love. And the supply chain disruption may soon affect the availability of this business.
Yeah.
It's I'm telling you, it's like we're watching this whole thing fall over in slow motion. I was moving a table saw once when we were moving out of one shop and into another, and this table saw had to weigh, I was 700-800 pounds. I mean, these things are heavy. And trying to get it up the ramp in the truck, and it started to fall over the side, and you don't try to catch it. You just, at that point, you just go, crap. And you have to watch.
You have to watch it in slow motion
and
because your mind slows down.
Yep.
Thinking about all the danger and crazy money it's about to cost you.
Yep. And that's what we're witnessing with the entire country right now. It's just falling over in slow motion, and it's like, well, I don't catch it. I don't know how to catch it. I don't know what to do. I would say just be ready for whatever is coming your way, which entails not only having the food, but having any other essential tools you may need to protect yourself and your family when the fit hits the shan. Will at some point in the very near future, especially when you have somebody like Joe Biden in charge of things. Can't seem to get out of his own way. So again, it's preparewithmojo50.com. Get your emergency food supply 3-month, or you can get the 1 month, the 4 week rather, and just depending on what you can afford, just to have it around in case and when everything falls apart. Preparewithmojo50.com. Mojo. All right, let's see the tweets and communiques are rolling in as we speak. Is today Columbus Day?
It is. Indigenous Peoples Day, sorry.
You used to actually see that on calendars and stuff.
I got it on my calendar pop up this morning.
Huh. Weird, right?
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, because Columbus is an asshole. Right? I mean, that's basically what they're trying to say.
Yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day are both showing up.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's the other thing about the different history between Jamestown and Plymouth, is that in Plymouth, which is a very Christian-centric town, colony, they made treaties, they purchased land from the natives, and it was much more, I guess, civilized would be the word to use there. And it's interesting how the left and the mainstream media is focused in on Jamestown. Anyway, but when I know more, and you can obviously do your own research, but it's interesting that they decide to call out the shenanigans at Jamestown. They ignore Plymouth, Massachusetts. Let's see, where do we? The other person I saw over the weekend, one Skip Lacombe.
Picked him. Was he down?
Yep. He went and picked him up at the airport, and he hopped up in the truck. I had to put a ladder out, of course. Got up into the truck, and we spent some time together and went to the Mercury Run event on Saturday. And as he was leaving yesterday, he got an earlier flight, and he was flying Southwest. Had a late afternoon flight, but changed it to around noon.
Oh, did he get out?
He got out
before they 1,800 flights.
Is that not amazing?
What the hell?
We think this is the beginning of the pilots saying,
This was, they say the air traffic controllers. Was it pilots?
Well, I guess some of the pilots, some of the air traffic controllers, but they were like, take your vaccine mandate and put it where the sun don't shine.
Stick it.
Right. Literally.
Wow.
And this is what's going to have to happen. These are the things that will have to happen if we're going to fight our way out of this. Because it's, when you hear, well, you got to go fight back at work, do not comply at work. Most people don't have that luxury. A lot. Again, it's a prisoner's dilemma because, you can't, if you and everyone else in your office where you're going to work this morning, were to say, hey, you know what, F all of y'all, because we're not coming in because of your stupid vaccine mandate, and find somebody else to do this job, and then the business would be in a panic. But it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way out here in the real world. It's going to take, strangely, things like unions. God, there's a comedian, isn't he? It's going to take unions and groups of people refusing to get the jab to get this thing turned around. They canceled nearly 2,000 flights between Saturday and Sunday. They blamed the FAA and the weather for problems that apparently didn't affect the other airlines. That was the weird part. It's like the other airline didn't have all these cancellations. But according to FlightAware, Southwest canceled over 1,000 flights on Sunday. They said, we experienced significant impact in the Florida airports on Friday evening after an FAA-imposed air traffic management program was implemented due to weather and resulted in a large number of cancellations. This is Alan Kasher, who oversees Southwest flight operations. He said this in a statement obtained by several news outlets on Saturday. So they're not officially saying what it was, but we don't know. About 800 Southwest flights were canceled on Saturday, according to flight tracking, the website FlightAware. Other major carriers, including American and Spirit, appeared to have significantly fewer disruptions. Southwest said in a statement on Saturday it's attempting to return to close to normal operations as we move into Sunday. We're working hard behind the scenes to minimize challenges and fully recover the operations as we take care of displaced crews. So they're not going to come out and admit if it was a sick out by the pilots, but if it was, man, good for them.
I don't know. Jack Posobiec actually retweeted somebody from ATC saying that he thought that there was a media blackout because of the walkouts in protest in Florida. Air traffic controllers. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that they staged that, but ultimately they'll all lose their jobs anyways.
Will they?
Well, my guess is, it just kind of depends on how hard up everybody is for ATC workers, because it's just like pilots. It's difficult to find, and it's a stressful job, right?
Exactly. So I'm telling you, this is going to have unintended consequences. And, you have the president out there doing the math on what company was it that let 400 people go? And he's like, hey, and their vaccine rate went up from 82% to 99%. It's like,
it's because they let all these people go.
It's like, wait a minute,
butt.
And they thought that Trump was stupid. That was one of the things. Well, he's just an idiot. He's a moron. He's just and you've got a guy up there doing fractions in front of everybody. It's like, wait, how did it go? Magically, it went up to almost 100%. And then, of course, somebody said, why isn't it 100% if everybody that was unvaccinated? And somebody else brought up, well, there are certain people who are exempt, which again, doesn't that kind of blow the whole thing out of the water to begin with?
Yeah.
If you're exempt, I mean, that's why I struggle to find logic where there is none in this case. And I mean, I was asked on Friday when I went to the doctor, and fortunately I was given an indefinite period of time to live. So it was actually ended with good news. It's like, we don't know when you're going to die. I said, well, that's good. But she said, have you had the jab? And I said, no. She said, you want it? I said, no, not particularly. I said, I never get a flu shot. So she said, well, it's not the same. Okay. All right. And we had this back and forth. She was discussing the fact that it was, I said, well, where do you get your information? And the verbiage that she used was fascinating to me. She said, well, we've got the smartest scientists, the smartest minds in the world coming up with this vaccine. And I went, do we now? I didn't say that out loud, but I thought, do we? And I realized these doctors who get their information primarily from, the medical journals, and I doubt seriously they spend a lot of time sitting down, going through, websites, looking up differing opinions. And I think that for the most part, a great number of them, pay attention to the journals that they usually look at.
Right.
I mean, they're obviously intelligent people for the most part. I mean, there's got to be a few idiots out there who managed to get by in medical school, but when they're looking at the same information coming in that you see in the mainstream media, I understand why they come down on the side that they do. And I mean, she was ready to say, I think she had a 9-year-old daughter. She's like, hey, when it gets approved, you're gonna get my daughter in here. She's gonna get vaccinated. All right. And
good for you.
And it was not a heated discussion. It was it was fascinating to hear from. I said, what's wrong with the people that I look at? She did not know who Simone Gold or any of the frontline doctors were, which I thought was fascinating. That's
Okay, so did you tell her who they were, and if you did she react?
I didn't really. I mean, it wasn't. We didn't have 2 hours of uninterrupted time.
I got you.
But she was not familiar with them, so she has not seen, I guess, that side of it. She just sees the mainstream media and the hysterical people who, don't want to get the anti-vaxxers, if you will. And she said, well, it doesn't sound like you're an anti-vaxxer. I said, no, I'm not. Not at all. I think people should be able to decide for themselves. And I said, I think it's the mandate more than anything that irritates me. And she said, well, I completely understand that. So she got that. But from a medical standpoint, she was all about it. And I think a lot of people hear that from their doctor. And they just decide, all right, well, that's the direction I'm going to take. I see why people are so damn confused about what to do anymore. It really is. There's so much information out there, and there's so much conflicting information, and you don't know who to believe, who to trust. I've heard that more from people in the last couple of days, that they have no idea where to find the truth, because everything is biased in some form or fashion, that there is really no place to
even
get
if
the
they
facts.
say they're not, you can find the bias. That's the thing, is you don't know where to look or what to read, or, I mean, because people, what are they going to default? Go to the internet, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have any place else to go. It's
And
not like you can go to the library and read about COVID-19.
And the internet is not inherently completely wrong. You
just have to find the right place to look.
Yeah, you have to continue to look for, and find it in several different places. I mean, in and of itself, the internet is not evil. It's just it just is. It's like water, and it can be hot, it can be cold. You have to know where to look. You have to continue to search. It's no different than going to the library, looking for a book on the shelf, except you're more likely to find more current information on the interwebs. But you just can't look at the headlines and just get all your information from the headlines. You have to dig deeper into the story, and you have to look at multiple sources. And then somehow decide for yourself where the truth is, which is, generally somewhere in the middle. And the doctor who created the mRNA vaccine, Malone, he's saying that doctors are being attacked for even talking about this stuff unless they're 100% pro-vaccine. So a lot of doctors are they're running scared at the same time. Yep. We'll talk about that and more coming up.
Happily promoting the 4F.
Clear.
Coming up. Where the hell did it go? That's not it. Is it?
Damn, is Whoopi Goldberg that big?
Okay, yeah, I saw that picture too. Wow. That was a big one. Where the hell? Where in the hell did it go? My rim shot doesn't work.
On a Mojo budget.
Oh my God, that was terrible. Holy shit, really? I hit that button like 10 minutes ago.
The Daily Mojo.
Stinky Biscuit on the Twitters using the hashtag What I Learned Today and tagging Real Ron Phillips. And Real Brad Staggs in the communique says she was small once.
Yeah.
She, of course, being Whoopi Goldberg. If you have not seen the pictures of Whoopi Goldberg, holy colonies.
Yeah, I'm assuming somebody put the Michelin tag across her, but that thing she's wearing does not.
I
That's
mean,
not flattering at all.
And full disclosure, I think we all have put on a few during the COVID months.
Oh, yeah.
I can certainly say I have. Thank God for stretch denim. Oh, stretch denim is the best thing since sugar and chocolate combined. But the Whoopi thing, Barbara Corcoran actually had to issue an apology. And because they were having the discussion on The View about people getting, kind of hefty and having to, get different clothes. And here was you decide if you think what Barbara Corcoran said was funny, appropriate.
Try them.
You have to. They're really good.
Will they fit this COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will.
Just thought I would ask.
They fit this COVID.
Okay. Okay, if they fit two COVID butts, we'll be fine. Yeah, she's acting like she got some behind.
And when you get finished with those jeans and decide you don't like them, give them to me. I'm going to make 2 pairs.
All right.
Barbara.
Okay, so
That's what I'm talking about.
Give it to me anybody. I mean, is it funny?
It was funny.
It could be funny. I mean, if, again, Whoopi's reaction was a little hurt, a little offended.
now we don't like you.
I just came back from The View and saw my old friend Whoopi. As you well know, she has a phenomenal sense of humor, and I've known Whoopi for years. I made a joke at Whoopi's expense, which I now realize wasn't funny. For anyone who I may have offended unintentionally, I just want to say I really am very sorry.
Okay, but first of all, you can't
Now, here's the
help
thing. Yep.
who you've offended. There's no way to.
That's right.
You can offend somebody with anything, so why bother?
Now, between her and Whoopi in a closed room,
Right.
Whoopi would have said, I'll kick your ass. Ha,
Right.
ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't just between her and Whoopi, that's where she got into a bind.
But, and let me tell you, when she put those pants on, she was in a bind. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hey-oh.
did there.
But I can say that because, again, I had to buy stretch denim. And did I mention stretch denim is
It's the best invention ever.
OMG.
Dude, I've been wearing stretch denim for like 10 years.
I am just so happy with it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is, and you can't say that anymore, proof that it is a clown world. These are the stories that apparently are important enough for government and those governing us around the world and around this country here. These are the important things that need to be dealt with. In California, Governor Newsom, he who slid past the recall man. Do you think he really did not get recalled, or was that did they just steal another one?
I think he probably just stole another one.
See, we're never going to have full faith and confidence in these elections anymore.
Nope.
He signed a bill on Saturday that requires large toy retailers in California to provide gender-neutral toy sections in their stores.
Is that the dumbest thing ever? What the hell?
It's the world we live in now. He signed legislation on Friday that forces all public schools to provide free menstrual products in male bathrooms. New toy...
Okay, you know how long that's going to last?
Until the machines on the wall are busted ass and laying on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how long it's going to last.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Because real males
Uh-huh.
don't play that shit. They
Nope.
don't. They're going to get in there and start pulling all of them out, throwing them on the trash.
And putting them in the toilet.
Yep.
They're going to flush them in the... You're going to see more clogged toilets in the schools in
Or
California.
they're going to run them under the sink or under the faucet and then
Yep.
throw them against the wall.
Ooh, that's a
God,
good one.
I hate dudes.
That's better than a water balloon. Have you done that before?
With toilet paper.
Oh yeah, but if you just if they're like the sanitary pads,
No,
those things
see,
would
I
soak
haven't.
up a bunch of water. And
That's what I'm saying.
that's a great idea. You could have pad fights.
That's what's going to happen, honestly.
Yes, it is, and I can't wait for the TikTok challenge on that one. Toy retailers now with more than 500 employees. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Have been forced to display toys traditionally marketed at girls or boys together in a special area of floor space. According to the bill's text, the area can be labeled at the discretion of the retailer. It describes the traditional labeling of toys, for example, dolls for girls, trucks and guns for boys, as making it, quote, more difficult for the consumer to compare the products and incorrectly implying that their use by one gender is inappropriate, end quote. Stores will be allowed to maintain separate boys and girls sections, but failing to provide a gender-neutral aisle will be punishable by fines of up to $500. Why don't you just do this as a toy store? Why don't you have one long aisle and then simply, on the right side, you have all the boy stuff. On the left side, have all the girl stuff. That way it's all on one aisle. Right?
Yeah,
all on the same aisle. You color one of them blue and one of them pink. Ta-da! Did you know toy manufacturers have been trying to remove or to de-gender their products? What does that even mean?
It doesn't surprise me, no.
I mean, so like an easy bake oven. Let's see. Okay, so they reference back to the Mr. Potato Head thing. These are the things considered important. This is what happens when you have nothing else to complain about. Meanwhile, on British Airways, pilots there have been told not to address passengers as ladies and gentlemen. No longer will they be addressed that way. Language used in onboard announcements will be changed to reflect the diversity of those traveling. Will it be ladies and gentlemen, assholes and asshats? What's it going to be? Disruptors? Language used in onboard announcements will be changed to reflect the diversity. Instead, pilots being urged to use neutral terms that are more inclusive, bringing onboard announcements in line with current practice in airports. The decision has been made because of large numbers of children traveling post-lockdown, as well as to reflect new social norms. Wait, what? The decision has been made because of large numbers of children traveling post-lockdown? That's why they're saying you can't say ladies and gentlemen because they're kids? What happened to ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? That's kind of covers it all, doesn't it? I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, those of similar type, boys, girls. Oh my God!
This is when asked about the report, a spokesman said, "We celebrate diversity and inclusion, and we're committed to ensuring that all our customers feel welcome when traveling with us." If confirmed, British Airways would join a host of other airlines, including the German Lufthansa, EasyJet, which apparently is for hookers, and Air Canada, in using gender-neutral greetings. This is so absolutely stupid. Where is hold on a second, because this, speaking of gender slip-ups, which I think this one is actually understandable. The president last week was in Chicago, and he was addressing the mayor and other, I guess, city council folk. Listen to the president address the mayor of Chicago.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for the past quarter in town.
Mr. Is he wrong? I mean, you look at Lori Lightfoot. It's understandable that you could be confused.
Yep.
What gender was Beetlejuice?
Oh, that's a good question.
We don't really know. I mean, we assume because of the suit, it's male, but he kind of went after the ladies. But I think looking at her, that's actually a fair mistake to make.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor. Then he tries to in trying to say LGBTQ. He is, let me see if I can find that one, because he does not do so well when given a list of letters and numbers and symbols. The president does not do so well at trying to repeat them back. I think this is this one is it here. Let's see here. We'll just give this one a shot. It's Joe Biden. It'll always be entertaining.
I mean, no, but I mean, it's not about. I know you're supporting by saying booing, but look, here's the deal.
What the hell was that?
I know you're supporting me by booing, but here's the deal. And this is the president of the United States. If it's not a clown world, tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is, because I have no idea. Let's see. Here's another one. Confirmation that we are, in fact, living in a clown world. A 16-year-old Wyoming student has been handcuffed and arrested for refusing to wear a face mask. The entire Wyoming school apparently was put into lockdown on Thursday of last week because one student refused to wear a face mask. This according to News Punch. The student, a 16-year-old girl, was handcuffed, arrested, and her entire school locked down because of said refusal. Her arrest has caused a bit of outrage. Video footage captured on Thursday showed 16-year-old Grace Smith met with school officials and a police officer when she turned up at the doors of Laramie High School in Wyoming. So this has been a coordinated effort on her and her family's part to make a point. She'd already served 2 consecutive suspensions for refusing to wear a face mask in class, per school board requirements, and again attempted to enter the building unmasked. Good for her. At some point, when do you say this is absolutely asinine and do not comply? Because there are those who say, well, she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. She was breaking the rules. Therefore, she should get arrested. All right.
Okay.
That's what Martin Luther King did. That's what they did. They stood up to stupid rules. And they got arrested. And you know what they did? They had right behind them every time they'd go into a lunch counter, and the whole lunch counter, they'd arrest them all, and then right behind them another group of folks would come right in and sit right down. So that's what needs to happen in these schools. Is just
it's just a consistent push.
Yes,
right.
That's maybe that's the way we start seeing some sanity.
And domestic terrorism does not work for me in those instances. Thank you.
Jeez. That's just beyond stupid. She was given a $500 citation by a police officer, then was handcuffed and arrested when she refused to voluntarily leave the school. As she refused to leave, a loudspeaker announcement informed students, "We are in a lockdown. Please stay in your rooms. Lockdown. This is not a drill." This is how asinine this is. If you can't see at this point that this is nothing more than control, then I mean, how do you convince people that at this point don't see that this is just about control, that this is just about control?
Right.
If you don't see it yet, I hope you soon open your eyes to it, but this is ridiculous. Andy Smith is her father. He told local news outlets that the family has retained an attorney to fight the citations. He says that the school district superintendent, Jubal Yeni, There's a joke in there somewhere that the suspensions are just absurd and despicable. In the meantime, Grace will be expelled if her suspensions keep adding up, but the teen has no intentions of backing down. I'm growing up in a country where I'm supposed to have my God-given rights to protect, and they're being taken away, she told Laramie Boomerang. Everybody has the freedom to wear a mask if they choose, but I believe everybody also has the right to not wear a mask if they choose. Amen, sister. Good.
Have you been to any place in our area, Brad, that has forced you to wear a mask?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
The only time...
It's kind of weird. It's surreal hearing these stories about different areas of the country that require that, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are in those situations.
That's Wyoming.
But we're in, I guess it's Texas, dude.
Well, I will say that last year when, the fit was hitting the shan, and I walked into the one place, the head shop over there.
Where they told you to
put it up over my nose.
Yeah.
And I have not been back in since. And they did the same thing at Costco. And, it's got to go over your nose. It's like, so I did what, any thinking, sane, caring individual would do. I put it up over my nose, and I just moved my jaw, and it popped back down.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And then Dr. Robert Malone, again, the inventor of the mRNA vaccine, says he was branded a terrorist by the media in Italy and warns that physicians who speak out are being hunted via medical boards and the press. This has been an ongoing question with our director of global security because of his medical background. He's saying, where are the doctors, speaking out against this? Why are they all just going along with it? I said, the trouble is the ones who don't go along with it, they are the frontline doctors of, America's frontline doctors. They get ostracized, and these are smart people. I think I even brought that up to the doctor I went to. It's like, these are doctors. These have been trained. Why is their information bad? Didn't have an answer.
Right.
But it makes no sense. There's no logic in why some doctors who think that these things are crazy would be vilified simply because they don't, follow the narrative. And then there's the money trail. You use common sense and follow the money with like the Johns Hopkinses and the Mayo Clinics of the world getting $1 gazillion from the National Institutes of Health. Of course they're going to fall in line. Johns Hopkins gets almost $750 million in grants from National Institutes of Health. They're going to pretty much, it's going to be like being grabbed by the ear. They're going to do what is being asked of them. They don't want to give up that money. It's an awfully jaded view of the world, isn't it? But I'm telling you, you live long enough, you too will become jaded. The Malone said in a tweet, I'm going to speak bluntly. Physicians who speak out are being actively hunted. They're trying to delegitimize and pick us off one by one. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Please wake up. This is happening globally. Said again, I was labeled as a terrorist in the Italian press when I was in Rome for the International COVID Summit. My crime? Advocating for early treatment of COVID-19. I suggest that merits a bit of meditation. Yes. And look at the different, that's the other amazing part to me is that, when the vaccine was rolled out and, perfectly, and then the myocarditis, well, it might, and then, what was it, 2-week intervals? It went from, it's safe. Well, there could be, there is a, and again, it's not surprising the length of testing of this has not been as long as the length of testing of others. I mean, that doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. Incidentally, when YouTube decides that we have crossed some imaginary line, which I'm surprised after speaking with Clay Clark last week.
Yeah, no, that didn't even get any hits, I don't think.
That's kind of amazing, quite frankly, to me, because he was pretty. I really enjoyed Clay Clark and his Reawaken America tour.
Dude was fired up though, wasn't he?
You don't even really have to wind him up. You just kind of blow in his direction, and he takes off. But the it's you can go to either is it Time to Reopen America? No, yes, Time to Free America.
Time to Free America.
TimeToFreeAmerica.com. That's where you'll find the schedule for the Reawaken America tour, and he has lined up all of these pretty incredible names: General Flynn, Simone Gold, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood. And if you, again, go to TimeToFreeAmerica.com, there are all these different links about, how to not die from COVID-19. Seems like that'd be a good thing to know. The truth about Dr. Anthony Fauci, the truth about mask mandates, the truth about religious persecution, the fight for freedom. And he also lists sources. So, I mean, this guy, if you didn't hear him, I would recommend going back and listening. Was that Thursday or Friday? It was Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Last Thursday's show. Really, really fascinating guy. Really interesting. And had a lot of good information to share. So it's the bottom line is this whole craziness keeps marching down the road. It doesn't seem to be letting up. It picks up steam. And when you have the president of the United States out there saying things like, let's see, he was speaking, was it Michigan this time? He was up in Michigan. He's talking about rebuilding the economy for the middle class. He's out there trying to sell these two, spending bills, essentially. Listen again to what he believes is the job of the president and the federal government here, because he's way off.
America's moving to oppose these investments is to be complicit in America's decline. To support these bills is to pursue a broader vision of our nation, and oppose them is to accept a very cramped view of our future. After all, how can we compete in the world if millions of American parents, especially moms, can't join the workforce because they can't afford the cost of child care or elder care and have to stay home? For example, here in Michigan, the average two-parent family spends $10,400.
Hold on a second. I think I missed.
They're about anything that pits Americans.
But anyway, he said, for whatever reason, this thing skipped forward about 25 seconds. And essentially, he said, look, the job of my job and the job of those in government is to make sure that we are competitive, that we're competitive in the global economy. It's like, wait a minute, that's really not your job. It's not. And besides, even if it was your job, I think you'd have been fired by now, because y'all have proven you can't do it. You don't know what the hell you're doing, especially when it comes to the economy. You have no idea. That's the amazing thing to me, is even if they did believe that that's what their job is, can they not look at their track record and realize we suck at this? And pretty much everything else they do too. And not in a good way. It's just, we've lost, and I say we collectively, I think those of us have been around for a while and have seen the changes, versus those who are younger, the youths, let's say, who don't know what the past was like. They think this is just the norm. They don't understand this is not the job of government, because again, they're not teaching any of this stuff in school. All they're teaching in schools, that remember the videos from campus reform, where was it the Bill of Rights or the Constitution? Was
they couldn't answer the questions.
Yeah, not only that, but they were like, yeah, we should definitely get rid of the Bill of Rights, because it's old.
The problem is they have no idea what they're saying.
No,
none.
They don't.
Zero, actually.
Yep.
And it pisses me off that these people are the ones going to college and they're getting free college, and it's not working.
Right.
Imagine that.
It really is. Oh, and here's that. Here's what the president
Ticket
said
to
here.
the middle class.
Here we go.
The work of our time, it seems to me, those of us who hold public office, is to prepare ourselves to be more competitive and to win the fast-changing 21st century in the global economy.
No, how about you just stick to what it says your job really is in the job description, like to secure our rights here in this country. Because they really do suck at anything that has to do with anything that has to do with business. They are horrible at it. The government does nothing well. I still have not been able to think of a damn thing they've been able to do well at all, other than stealing money. They're really good at that. They're really good at reaching into your check and taking money and giving it to others. Beyond that, I do not know what the government does well. No idea. Can't think of one thing. Even when I said the national highway system, somebody brought up the point, well, yeah, in the eminent domain, they screwed up a lot of people's lives even doing that. So what do they do well? They're the most bloated not infrastructure, but the most bloated. If they were a corporation, they'd be out of business. 4 million employees and 4 million employees and $28 trillion in debt. And actually, what is it? What do they say? It's if you include the unfunded liabilities, it's more like $120 trillion in debt.
Oh my God!
It's like, what? Why are we even? And then you have these idiots in the Republican Party up there, you know, with the McConnell and the clown car, and we're going to give in, and we'll kick the can down the road till December. So we've temporarily raised the debt ceiling. What? How many? Who even cares how much they raised it?
29 trillion is what it is. 29 trillion.
It's meaningless. Totally meaningless. It's what do you even do with it? No idea. Leprechaun tweeted, the politicians judge their success by the size of their bank accounts, not by how much they don't help the people. Yeah. Sticky Biscuit, face it, currently they're also horrible at everything they're supposed to be doing. Well, yeah, they don't even do what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, as a matter of fact, they're fighting against what they're supposed to be doing. They're actively trying to take away first, second, fourth, and then all of this other crap. And Audrey's wow, she's back over in the Facebook chat room. She must have gotten fired.
Did you see what she said?
Let's see.
This is the part where I take Brad and Ron into the shower with me. BRB.
Nice. Good thing I'm not wearing pants.
Yep.
She says, I was in Arizona last week, and the only time it was enforced is when I was on the mask mandate.
On the reservation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh man, what was it? Our director of global security was telling me about the reservations. It was something about a tax. I'll think about it. It was fascinating how they got around this thing. Anyway, I'll think of it here coming up shortly. But government sucks at everything they do. Every damn thing. And if you think about every department of the government, every alphabet agency, look at the FBI. Look what they are now. They're the SS. They're hunting down Americans. They're
oh yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And how, I don't know, it's like, what do you do? Well, you do things like Grace Smith did up there in Wyoming. You do not comply. Do not comply if you can. If it's not going to put you in financial peril, because I get it. It is a tough situation to be in. But we'll find the solutions. Either that or we'll die. One of the two. More on the way.
Clear.
Here she is.
John says, does Ron get taxed for not having his camera on?
See?
Yeah.
Parts of the country's midsection starting off the week cleaning up from rough weather, including possible tornadoes in Oklahoma.
Dude, that thing that ran through here yesterday evening,
Yeah.
was a long, Texas long strip of about 20 minutes worth of just pure hell. And then it got real silent because it was real windy in front of it. Did you guys have any tornadoes up there?
If they did, they happened while I was unconscious.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Wyoming and Montana. A Navy nuclear engineer under arrest accused of espionage. Over the past year, he allegedly sold sensitive
Professor,
information to a contact that he
are
thought
you kidding?
represented a foreign government. President Biden urging Democrats
What is going on in Wyoming?
party ranks continues to imperil his economic agenda.
Oh, this is an older story.
$3.5 trillion
How can it be trending?
plan. Some of the more moderate Democrats say the price is way too high. And the price of something else, it's way too high.
The average price of gasoline at regular grade at retail jumped 6 cents in the past 2 weeks.
Now averaging $3.31 for a gallon of regular, according to fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg. A Southern California beach closed since an undersea pipeline leaked crude into the ocean last week. Set to reopen
Don't be
today.
so crude.
Sandy stretches in Huntington Beach will reopen after water quality tests came back just fine. Wall Street.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? When you hear the word socialism, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Equality.
Equality? What?
Yeehaw!
Have you ever noticed that those that can and do never bitch about equality?
Right.
Those that can't and won't, always bitch about equality.
Yeah. Wow. Unreal. Wow.
Woman performs oral sex to stall armed robber at gas station until police arrived. Whoa.
That's thinking on your knees.
The Off-Track Syndicate, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mojo 50.
Oh, I did have to wear a mask at the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Liberty Minute for Columbus Day. 575 of 15 days to flatten the curve. Yes, I said Columbus Day.
I'll tell you about it.
Columbus challenged the science of the times and was right. He did not fall off the edge of a flat earth. A pioneer.
How do we know that?
Columbus's daring journey should be recognized as proof that science is never settled. Science should always be questioned and challenged. Anyone who says the science is settled clearly does not understand the basic principles of science itself. To be fair, the indigenous people of the Americas deserve a celebration too. Maybe there should be a National Indigenous Peoples Day, but it should not replace Columbus Day. Catch the Daily Liberty Minute anytime at liberty-lighthouse.com. And until tomorrow, protect your liberties. Once they're gone, there's no getting them back.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape. I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis? Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. Mojo 50. The mothership has landed.
Now, Oblivion Flickering says on the Twitters here, COVID is a biological weapon. Just ask its Chinese inventors and their Manchurian candidate, Comrade Fauci. Ooh. Can't say that I don't have a good argument against that. It could very well be. That's the thing. And the other bit is that all of the conspiracy theory stuff, they're trying to frame everyone as conspiracy theorists who think anything outside of the narrative is the truth. And it's very easy to do that, to make people look like, oh, well, they're just they're wackadoodle. They're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about, because nobody really wants to be. No one wants to be ostracized. I mean, you get to a point where I think you just don't give a damn, and it's like, hey, whatever. But for the most part, people do not want to be ostracized. That's why a lot of people hesitant to buy into the quote unquote conspiracy theories. But at some point, you have to look at them and go. I mean, for years, let's just moon landing. You believe that we landed on the moon, Ron?
I do.
I do too. I mean, but when they start talking about, but let me put it this way: I cannot prove to you that we landed on the moon. There's no way I can prove it.
That's correct. There's no way you can prove it.
Right.
You just have to go with it, and
Right.
you have to reasonably assume that we were given a directive by the
Right.
President of the United States, and we decided, we're going to do this,
Right.
even if we're just going to get there, say we did it, and
Yeah.
not go back for years, right?
And but I mean, if somebody told me you've got to prove that we went to the moon, I wouldn't know how to. I guess
Wouldn't know
I
how
go
to do it.
I guess
Yeah.
I go try to find some astronauts who'd been there, and then I guess take their word that we've been there.
Jamie Christopher says we did not land on the moon, Brad Staggs.
Okay. I honestly, after being lied to for so long over these past 5 years by the federal government, I don't have a good argument against it. I mean, I think you could. Who was it that said? I could keep going back to that quote. At this point, I'm willing to listen to the flat earthers. It's like so much is just insane. Well, that's crazy to think we didn't land on the moon. I have no idea. I guess we did, but you could probably, if you presented me enough evidence that we didn't, I'd go, oh, I don't know.
I think I'm like you. It's the same thing with, the alien landing in the front yard of the White House.
Right.
I'd go,
Damn it,
all
I knew
these
it.
years.
Yeah.
Well, damn it.
Kinda
That
knew it.
kind of thing.
Right. And you, well, who would have ever thought we would get to a point in this country where you go to your average college campus and start asking questions? This is Georgetown University. Addison Smith is one of the campus reform peeps.
They're getting into a whole flat earther didn't land on the moon conversation in Facebook right now. This is awesome.
And again, like I said, at this point, I mean, I'm pretty sure we did. But if you told me that I had to prove it, I wouldn't know how to prove it. So I can't, bet my life that we did go to the moon because I don't have the evidence myself. And then you start looking back at like the tapes the raw tapes they had from the moon landing. Do you know they recorded over them?
I thought they got lost, or burned. But yeah, I guess they did record them.
You would think such a momentous occasion, they would protect the evidence, like the actual film of them being there. But yeah, we recorded over them. Whatever. They were lost or burned or whatever. So,
okay.
That kind of plays into the whole conspiracy thing, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, it's just, wait a minute. Are you guys that stupid? You recorded over stuff? I mean, it's either, or you're trying to hide something. But then listen to these students. This is the youth of America. This is our future. These are the ones going to be leading the charge in the future.
Socialism. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Equality.
Probably not something positive based off of history classes that we've had and the way it's taught, but redistributing wealth definitely sounds more positive.
I really have no issues with socialism. I'm a socialist myself and think it's kind of the only way we're going to get anything close to real social reform in this country.
I'm from Russia, a former Soviet country. I feel people don't really have a perspective on socialism in America like people have everywhere in the world.
Wait, what? Hold on. Somebody who's actually been in a situation, and she's like, wait, you people have no idea what the hell you're even talking about.
Exactly.
Weird, right? I mean,
because of how it was presented. I personally haven't seen it working anywhere in favor of people as well, where their freedoms and human rights are respected.
I generally think it's a good thing, especially when we're considering how this ties into racial factors as well. I think it's important to understand how the redistribution of wealth can be seen as a way to ameliorate histories of racial hierarchy.
I think there are some.
The Fenort, did he just say?
Amelie?
Didn't she fly over the ocean or something? Isn't she a pilot?
Good things and thinking about leveling out different inequalities. I think about questions about choice, like what choice people have in different decisions from systematic levels.
I certainly see it as a good thing. I guess this might be cheesy to say, but I would say some level of equality.
So how would you define socialism?
I honestly not that familiar with the term.
I feel like I'm not as informed on the problem as I'd like to be, but I would say that capitalism is kind of the driver for a lot of the problems that we have in America, yeah.
Giving workers the means to production. To be honest, my understanding of it is not as amazing as I would like it to be.
It's the redistribution of wealth as a means to achieve a better society.
Socialism is the workers being their own bosses.
The economic theory that the means of production, the money people make, the private property they own, should be taken and redistributed equally. That's an idea that you lean towards.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends how you do it. A lot of people consider private property to be something they have a right to, when it's really not something that's so fundamental to who we are. It's particularly just capital.
If you're making $10 million...
Wait a minute. What the Fanork did he just say?
I don't know, dude.
It's the future. These are the future leaders of America.
A year, I think it's fair to tax at a very high rate because you are already so rich.
I would not be opposed to the government doing that. I think government should be actually doing that, but I just think it is a very tangible topic that should be, kind of approached from different points of view, different aspects. Everything has to be taken into consideration. There's a reason why it hasn't worked in the USSR, for example.
If you're in a class and you have an open notes test and you spend 10 hours coming up with all these pages of notes, a lot of hard work put into it, you get to class and the professor, no one else has taken notes for the test, and the professor looks at you and says you have to give
your
10
notes.
out of your
Yep.
15 pages, hand them out to your other classmates, and then you don't have all of your notes. Do you think that that's fair?
Yeah, I'd be pretty frustrated. Yeah.
So maybe when we talk about redistributing wealth, if you got your dream job, making a six-figure salary, someone steps in and says, hey, even though you worked really hard for years and years to get this job, we're going to take the rewards that you've reaped, and they redistribute that equally. Would you be okay with that?
Well, when it's presented that way, it certainly sounds worse.
Makes you think about it a little differently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
If you're in a group project with 3 other people, so there's 4 of you, and you do all the work, the project gets a perfect score, but since you guys are all in the same group, the professor takes part of your score and gives it out to the other people who didn't do any of the work. Would that be fair?
From an individual perspective, no.
What difference does what?
No.
Wow.
Wait. From an individual perspective, no.
Right.
Oh, from a group perspective, what? Yes.
Well, yeah. If you're one of the people who, it would make great sense if you're one of the people who didn't work, and you got the benefit of the research somebody else has done.
I'm waiting for one of them to go, well, that's overreaching. That's not really how it's going to work.
Right. They're not. No, they haven't thought. No, they haven't thought that far out.
Wouldn't think that's fair.
I wouldn't think that was fair, but I think that would be
Here
a
it
poor
is.
analogy to describe
Here it is.
the economic state as it is.
That's
I
it.
don't think
That's
that's how things actually operate.
I just don't think that's how it's going to.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be the way it is. There's always somebody willing to make the excuse.
For the government to just radically make decisions without looking to the people. What I want to push for is for the people to push for these policies. I want people to choose these things, and so I want to elect representatives who will pass these socialist policies.
You want people to choose to elect someone to choose to take away their private property rights.
No, it's just like taxes, not private property right.
Well, money is property.
Well, if you consider a tax a violation of private property rights, then sure.
Oh, there you go. Behold the future leaders of America.
It worries me about sending my daughters to college.
Why? I mean, why would you go to college nowadays? What is the advantage to college? Unless, of course, you're going to be a surgeon or an accountant, I guess, or one of those. But if you're
doing specialized work, yes, maybe. But I agree with you. If you don't really have any plans to do that, why would you go to college? You're right, I guess.
I don't know. I just, again,
well, even local community colleges, because I have experience, are headed down the wrong path, in my opinion. They're still trying to swing everybody to this, socialistic.
Oh, yeah.
It's just nuts.
Perhaps you want to be a lawyer. You want to be, your long-term goal is to be a judge. Maybe that would be, a situation where you would want to go to college and then the law school. And then maybe you'd know more than this dunce federal judge here. Let's see, his, what is his name? U.S. District Judge Paul Maloney, which is one letter away from baloney. Federal judge on Friday denied a request to block Michigan State University's COVID-19 vaccine mandate on the basis of natural immunity. An employee at the school, Gina Norris, filed a lawsuit against the mandate and asked a judge to intervene on the basis that she had already contracted COVID-19 and recovered. She presented 2 antibody tests showing her previous infection, and her doctors told her that she didn't need to get the vaccine at this time. Despite her natural immunity, the judge, she faces termination from the university for not complying with the school's mandate that all students and staff get the shot unless they have a medical or religious exemption. The district judge, Paul Maloney, rhymes with baloney, an appointee of W, declined her lawsuit. The mandate, Maloney said, didn't violate her fundamental rights and pointed to a 1905 Supreme Court ruling. This court must apply the law from the Supreme Court. Jacobson essentially applied rational basis review and found that the vaccine mandate was rational in protecting the public health and public safety. The court cannot ignore this binding precedent. I mean, where is the... how do you argue with any of this stuff? I don't get it. I don't understand. How have we gotten to this point where things that appeared to be common sense in the past are just out the window, gone? And individual rights and responsibilities it's like they're disposable and being disposed of at a rapid pace. Does it feel like any of the tide is shifting to you?
No.
You think we're still barreling toward oblivion?
Yep.
Gutter Drunk says, let's start a Brandon University. Let's go, Brandon. Have you got your Let's Go Brandon t-shirt yet? It's available at Mojo 50. It looks strangely like hashtag FJB. I wore this I went to a store on Friday. And I got some looks, but nobody.
Anybody ask about it?
Nobody asked about it, but again, not many people are gonna. If I was, 5'2" and
most people who know what
scrawny,
it means will never say anything to you.
Right.
Yeah. Other than give you that, that wink as you walk by, or that thumbs up, or something like that.
That's right. That's what I was going to tell you. At the doctor, I was walking down the hall. I had to put on the stupid mask, and I'm walking down the hall, and coming toward me from the other direction is a dude wearing one of the masks, like the ones that. Gosh, I apologize for not remembering her name, but she's a listener, and she made these.
Oh yeah.
And he had it on, and I could see right through to his face. And he looked at me and just kind of nodded. I was like, "You go, buddy." I mean, totally. It's so. What the hell is this world gone to? Go to Mojo 50 and click on shop, or you can just go to my link tree. It's probably fewer steps if you go to my. Ron, do you have a link tree?
I do not have a link tree.
You ever thought about getting one?
Have I thought about getting one? Every time you ask me if I have one.
You can find mine. It's just if you just Google Linktree Real Brad Staggs, and you'll find it. And there's links. It's like a tree with links on it. And
it's a pretty simple little.
It is very simple.
Right there.
It fits me to a T. And you'll see links for not only the hashtag FJB shirt, but also the Mojo 50 Christmas ornament and some other stuff and links to the show.
We could have made you a link tree on Mojo 50, mojo50.com/Real Brad Staggs. We could have done it right there, too.
Well, why didn't you?
Because you didn't ask. You could have done it.
How would I have done it? I don't know how to do that.
You got access to that.
Do I?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it. I don't have the skill set that you do.
Oh, I see.
And you're
Okay.
pretty at the same time. Much better looking and a much smarter than I am. But anyway, go and get yours today. And again, it's at Mojo 50, or you can go to my link tree and you will find it. You'll find it there. And this again should scare you. Face the Nation over the weekend with what's her name? Margaret Brennan. Is that her name? I can't remember the host name. Doesn't really matter. Here is she and her guest discussing the vaccine by the end of the year here.
Doctor, Pfizer applied for emergency approval for children ages 5 to 11 to be able to get a vaccine. Is it reasonable to assume that by Thanksgiving we could see children fully vaccinated?
I think that's certainly reasonable in terms of when this would be available. FDA is meeting October 26th, their advisory committee, to discuss this application, assuming that they authorize the use of the vaccine. CDC's advisory committee is going to meet on November 2nd and 3rd and make a final decision about who should be eligible for the vaccine. And assuming both of those events go well and you get a positive recommendation out of both the FDA and the CDC, this should be available almost immediately after the CDC makes a final recommendation and be available in pharmacies and perhaps pediatricians' offices as well. Pfizer plans to.
This guy speaks on one giant run-on sentence, but that's Scott Gottlieb. He's the former FDA commissioner. Let me make sure I got that title right. Yeah, former FDA commissioner. He's a medical doctor. But I also want to play you the intro here because listen to what else he is.
Welcome back to Face the Nation. We go now to former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb, who also sits on the board of Pfizer and is.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's weird. He sits on the board of Pfizer. I mean, it couldn't possibly have any interest in. I mean. That's like Paul Ryan being on the board of directors at Fox. And it's weird how Fox hates Trump. Weird. It's almost... So Gottlieb's on the board of directors at Pfizer. And certainly sees... And again, he's the former FDA commissioner. Think he has any pull? I don't know. It just... Look what we've created. And we've allowed this to happen. This is all part of the conglomeration that is the federal government and all this and big business. And it's, I got no problem with corporations. I mean, you have to walk the fine line. It's was it Madison that said our Constitution it only works for a good and moral people? That's a problem. Is whenever money's involved, it's like, there are going to be problems when it comes to human beings. So where do you draw the line? Where do you make the rules? How do you? Well, if this guy's got an interest in this, how do you keep him from doing that? So there's going to be a certain amount of this garbage that gets in there. But when you start talking about people's lives and vaccines, Ron, I just want to go to the island and fish. And I don't even like to fish.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to go somewhere and fish. That's all I really want to do. I just want to check out and just do something fun. That really doesn't.
Fishing would be fun.
It would be fun because it really, you just sit there and you. Think I got one. No, nope. That was just a boot. Did have some good news, though, for you, and I'm glad that you're here this time, Ron, to hear it, because this is pretty amazing. More footage of Bigfoot has been obtained.
No way. No way.
Yes. Did you not hear about the Bigfoot scene? This is near a canyon somewhere. This was on the, I think it was some sort of a Bigfoot channel. And they've got some really shaky, grainy footage.
What?
I know, it's weird. It's strange. The title of which, Hiker Films Multiple Sasquatch Hiding in Desert. And
so wait, we have desert Bigfoot, big feet now?
Yes, they're apparently desert big feet. And they are, put this over on the big screen for those of you who are watching the behind the scenes while we
Thank
are
you.
still,
That's where I have to watch it too.
We're still available YouTube and places like that for now until they, squash us. All right, here's the this is the video. This is zoomed in here, this portion of the footage, and what we see is just a desert landscape and something that looks like a hairy woman, maybe, or someone in possibly a trench coat. They say it's a Bigfoot. It's got that typical hunched over look, and it's kind of like wandering into a little cave.
Wow.
I mean, why can't we get something that's crystal clear?
Long range, clear shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's always got to be this grainy
crap. It's almost like it might not be real.
Yeah. So far, I only see the one. Is there a second one?
I think he's humping one of them.
Oh, I see.
That's what it appears to me to be. Anyway, maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. I don't know. But that is your Bigfoot sighting for 2021, or the latest, which we've had about 3 or 4 this year, haven't we?
Yeah. Especially the one that was walking by that was kind of a real short video that it kept repeating.
Right. Oh yeah, the one that that. Why do they turn their cameras off?
I don't know.
So quickly. Why don't they just let the damn thing roll?
But you got to send me that link though.
It's at your favorite website. It's at Wonky Times.
Oh, I got that. I got that website.
Yeah, you got that one. That's good. I'm glad to hear that you got
see
that.
it. Hiker spots a Sasquatch hanging out near a canyon. Okay.
Right. Richmond Joe just tweeted, overwhelming new regulations, supply chain issues, workforce not engaged, energy prices climbing, food shortages, government infringement of constitutional rights. Yep, there's a Democrat in office. You know what? At this point, I'm willing to just go with there's a politician in office. Because honestly, is there anybody? I mean, you think of DeSantis, maybe Trump, if he decides to do it again. Is there anybody on the Republican side that you trust either anymore? Because if you ask me,
yep,
I just. Hey, Mish should be here in a minute. Stick around for that on your Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas.
You are clear, and I've got Mish.
Hi, Mish.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, so good. So good. Where are you? Where are you today? You at work?
I'm at work. Yeah, I was sick last week, but I'm better now.
Well, that's good. Did you have COVID?
No. I was tested. It was negative. I just had like something old-fashioned, a cold. I didn't even think you could get colds anymore or anything that was normal.
I thought we vanquished the flu and colds last year.
Exactly.
Huh.
It was like, what? A cold? My goodness.
Really kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Are okay. And
Thank you very much.
And we got about another minute. We'll be back on live. So
okay, sounds good.
The Bible says we have a flat, non-moving earth.
That's what she said, yeah.
Wouldn't we fall off?
You would think.
Or is there that big ice wall like in Game of Thrones at
Hey,
the
be
edge.
careful talking about religious stuff, man. People like to lash out.
I hadn't noticed.
Did you read the email?
No, I didn't.
That Beth got about me and Rocky.
Oh boy, no,
because we mentioned that that we asked rhetorical questions. We got hammered.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Were they Catholic coming after you?
I don't know, dude.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, I don't know. Jamie over in the Facebook chat room just said the Bible says we have a flat, non-moving earth. I've never read that.
I haven't either.
But, all right.
I'll be there.
I still say it's, if we have those big ice walls at the edge, keep you from falling over, and then that would make sense to me. The big, in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because that would be like a giant safety wall. So if you have that, okay, I got you. On the line right now, against her better judgment once again, is from MarketGauge.com, Michele Schneider, otherwise known as Mish. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Glad to hear that you survived the your battle with a cold. You're still amongst the living. It's
yes.
Anymore. I mean, you panic when you start getting the sniffles, and you think, something bad could happen. So I'm glad you're okay. You believe in Bigfoot?
Thank you. I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just checking. I mean,
okay.
Anymore?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, it's that we just keep getting these new. None of them are like crystal clear and have a nice interview with Bigfoot, but we continue to get these fuzzy, out of focus videos from about 4 miles away of Bigfoot running around on the earth. And at this point in time, I would believe just about anything. So
exactly,
it's the news again is filled with stories of the digital dollar and digital currency. I've been seeing stories out of England. Was it the Bank of England that said that they wanted to be able to control digital currency, put limits on how it could be spent, et cetera?
Yes.
Should we be worried about all this?
Well, let's just use China as the great example. They basically have banned all cryptocurrencies. And meanwhile, if you look around the board today, Bitcoin is up about 3%. Ethereum's up about 1%. And then you have all these other coins that have emerged. So I think that I don't think any of the governments could really basically stop what's going on, not only with coins themselves, but also with just blockchain technology. And now NFTs are really all the buzz.
And explain NFTs again.
So those are non-fungible tokens. And basically what we've heard about so far is these images that appear, digital images of, like, for example, a penguin or what have you, and then they wind up selling for thousands and thousands of dollars, and even more in some cases. And essentially what it is at this point, it's going to change, but what it is at this point is a digital image that you can't grab onto, you don't hang on your wall. It's something that appears on a screen, and for the right of owning that image, you pay a lot of money. But that's currently it. The space is changing, because basically what they're trying to do now is take that technology, that platform,
right,
and and be able to digitize things like, so for example, documents, and eventually maybe even art.
Really?
And so, yeah. Excuse me. So essentially, that's really where NFT now could be another wave of the future. I mean, it's really hard to keep up with all of the innovation and how things are constantly changing. And that's why, going back to your original question, is how is the government going to take control of that? I just don't see them able to keep up with just normal stuff that they're supposedly going to be in charge of. And
ding, ding, ding. Yes,
So-
exactly.
Right. So, now you take something that, how are these people even going to begin to understand? And I mean, for example, Gensler and Powell both were like, well, with cryptocurrency, we don't think that we're going to be able to avoid having it. So we're just going to try to figure out how to regulate it.
Right.
And then, of course, that the idea of government coming out with some kind of its own regulated ETF in the crypto space, which people think could put a little bit of a kibosh on it, but I just don't see that happening. I just don't.
And government wants it for the control. They want to be able to control what you do, where you do it, how you do it, and who you do it with, and what you're spending your money on. And again, given the long line of failures of government being able to do anything well, that scares me, because at least with the paper currency and coinage, at least once it's in your hand, you can do whatever you want with it. When the government still has control because it's on a card or a digital account somewhere, if the server is down and you're trying to go spend money at the grocery store and the government server's down, we can't have any transactions. I see nothing but trouble with that system, which of course doesn't mean they won't go ahead and try to get that produced, because that's never stopped them before. But
well, I'm kind of seeing. I think the eventuality of it myself is that it'll be one of these "if you can't beat them, join them" kind of thing.
Right.
And they'll figure out a way to come up with some government form of cryptocurrency that they can actually regulate. But it won't stop the momentum of constant, like I said, there's just this constant innovation, with the NFTs being right now so interesting to me.
That fascinates me. I mean, I don't guess I had heard, I think you've described it to me before, but I've never been able to really grasp it. That's really amazing to be able to, you would own this digital image that couldn't be copied, that there was only one of, that made it unique, and there was no way to make another one of them. But I guess that's possible. I mean,
yeah. And then now take that though and apply that same technology to digitizing pretty much things that already exist as a way that's stored into a wallet as opposed to stored, on the cloud or something like that. Wow. So I know last night I never watch like network television, but my mom is staying with us and she loves TV. Right. So I do watch football. I watch football.
There you go.
But yeah, exactly. So I did see the Dallas Cowboys, Miles and Giants. Yay. But anyway, but I did watch 60 Minutes because she was there. And the first story was about this deep fake. Have you heard about that?
Deep fakes? In general, yes.
Deep fakes.
Yes.
Yeah. I hadn't really.
It's scary.
I love to watch them.
Yes.
And try to figure out if they're
Ron
real.
might be addicted to deep fakes. Well, no, it's true, because you can make anybody say anything, which is, again, another one of those weird conspiracies out there that, the president could be a deep fake. Or there could be several of them.
They showed this whole thing with Tom Cruise, right?
Yes.
That's not really Tom Cruise.
Right.
But I mean, it was, so my point is that not to get people frightened, but to say that this is a 32-year-old guy who put this all together with these deep fakes as one of the people. Mm-hmm. And the level of genius in being able to manipulate the whole world out there beyond the internet is for us older folks is interesting, exciting, and frightening at the same time. Right?
Yes,
Who wants to think about the fact that I'm in the public, you're in the public, and now all of a sudden there's us out there, but they're not. It's not us.
I know.
Now,
I know.
I mean, on one level, I'm like, gee, I could do this interview and still be in bed. I mean, that wouldn't be so bad.
That's the beauty of it. What was that movie with Bruce Willis, Ron? Do you remember where they had like their avatars who went out?
Surrogates.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Movie. Yeah, it's the people as they get older, they just you get into this little virtual reality cocoon, and then your avatar goes out there in public and does all the stuff, so you are eternally young. Which, I mean, it's anything is possible anymore.
Exactly.
I'm watching Bitcoin go up. It's at 57,288 at this moment. What's
Yes.
driving the upward push on Bitcoin here lately?
Well, I think that basically when Gensler last week said, well, we're not going to ban it, I think that brought in a whole new slew of buyers. And I think there's a lot of technical reasons for it, too. It had to clear that 55,000 level. It just did, actually, over the weekend.
Right.
It was kind of waffling around it. And now here we are open. And so we're getting a lot of fresh buying in there. There's predictions that this is going to, people say 100,000. We actually have looked at some models, like these models called these stock flow models, and basically what they predict 70 or 80,000 by the year end. So there you go. Once this thing shrug off, that's not good grammar, sorry.
That works.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
The China, yes. Once it was able to really just negate that anybody is really going to be able to stop this right now, short of like an entire breakdown of the mining capabilities. Here we go. And so that's it. So now we're going to look at 60,000, I think.
I was talking with a friend last night, and he's a former banker, and he younger than me, and I was trying to explain Bitcoin to him, and I didn't really understand how to. I found myself in one, and he's a banker, former banker. It's like, well, yeah, it is something you can't touch, taste, see, feel, or hold, but it's worth $57,000 if you have one of them. It's it is. It's a store of value, actually. I mean, you can actually exchange goods for Bitcoin now more and more. I mean, look at all of these different credit card companies and banks that are now experimenting with you being able to pay in Bitcoin. Yeah.
And people laughed when El Salvador went to Bitcoin. But meanwhile, I read yesterday, because they're making money, that they're taking some of the profits, and they're building this like amazing pet hospital, which of course pets seem to get sometimes the care before humans, but that's beside the point.
Right.
Yeah. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, there is stuff happening. Over the summer when we were traveling, we met this kid who took his money that he had made with Dogecoin and put a down payment on a house. So I wouldn't discount it as worthless, or it's just something that's rocketing with numbers that people don't necessarily ever use. That's not true.
It seems,
and of course, go ahead.
I was going to say, it seems to me that you're good. The mainstream banks, the traditional money institutions, have spent a good deal of time and effort, it seems to me, over the past several years trying to attack the validity of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular. And the more they attacked it, the more I thought, all right, it's going somewhere, because you don't attack something that is not a threat. So the more that it was being attacked, the more I realized, man, this really is something, even though the ethereal nature of it is just really bizarre. Because again, it's just numbers in a literally digital numbers somewhere on a hard drive, and is truly nothing more than faith. That's really all Bitcoin is faith. Faith that it exists.
And I don't know if I necessarily would agree with that completely.
But there's no physical asset, though. I mean, there's
No. It's no physical. It's like NFTs, what we just talked about. There's no physical asset, but there's no need for a physical asset, because there is a mining capability, and there's only a limited amount of mining that can be done. And so, it's all perception. It doesn't matter whether you touch it. You see, we're from a generation where you touch something and therefore it exists. In the minds of Bitcoin and crypto and tokens and NFT and that whole space, it exists in that it's not necessarily something you can touch, but it still exists. And that's the part, I think, that makes it difficult for people to wrap their brains around.
Yes. It's like,
older
the
people,
Animal House scene where they're getting stoned, and so we could all be, the world could be the atom of a fingernail of a giant. I can't exactly, but that's kind of what it is. So wait a minute. If I dug one of my grandparents up and tried to explain to them, well, no, it's this thing that doesn't, you can't touch it, you can't see it really, but it exists somewhere in zeros and ones on a hard drive. They'd think I was crazy, and so
Exactly.
it's just it really does. It hurts your brain if you try to figure it out. How soon? Well, let me ask you it this way: the balance between like cryptos and traditional investments, how far is it swinging over to the crypto side, to the digital currency side, to the digital asset side? Are you seeing a significant trend in people investing more that direction than traditional stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed at people that I talk to that says, yeah, I'm making a fortune in cryptocurrency. I bought, and they'll come up with some obscure coin that I haven't even heard of yet. And they'll say, oh, I bought Tron, at 2 cents. And I sold it at 9 cents. I'm like, what the hell is Tron? And then I look and I go, wow, it really exists.
Wow.
So
is it the new penny stock?
So that, what is it like a new penny stock?
Is it the new penny stock? Because you used to buy, the penny stocks and make money off those. Do penny stocks still exist?
Yes, they do, but you don't hear about them very much. They don't call them penny stocks anymore. There's another name for them, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Junk. No, but seriously,
Yeah.
so this is kind of the new penny stock trend, and it likely will continue going that direction because, like you said, there's all these coins and there are hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
And again, it's something that doesn't truly exist in the physical realm, other than in digitized zeros and ones.
Exactly. So I've been really very focused on XRP lately because I have had this theory based on just coming out of my head. So full disclosure, it's not like I'm not the only one who thinks this though.
Okay.
That's Ripple, XRP, that right now it is probably, in terms of crossing borders for transactions, it's cheapest, it's fastest, and it is globally used. And of course, the SEC had this whole thing where they had a lawsuit with Ripple and XRP, and because they said it wasn't a security.
Right.
And now there's been all this stuff going on between the SEC. Documents being sent to show that the SEC didn't really have a case. Even worse, that some people in the SEC were actually trading in XRP. I mean, of course, we have that whole thing now, with the Federal Reserve. Anyway, my feeling is that I believe that if the government was going to adopt something other than a digital dollar, which I don't think is a really smart idea on that part, because I don't think that's going to compete, that it could be an XRP type of situation where at the very least they'll settle that lawsuit. And then XRP, which is trading at $1.16 right now, could easily fly. So that's something to keep an eye on. And if you were going to make an investment, I don't make investments just because they're cheap, but in this case, I actually think there's a fundamental reason why this is probably a good level to make some kind of investment, and we've been doing it. So
interesting. All right. Again, you can get a hold of Mish over at marketgauge.com. You can find her book, Plant Your Money Tree. And I'm sure you've got questions. You can ask her. She can guide you in the right direction. And over on the Twitters, it's at Market Minute. Are you getting involved in any of the other the social, the Gabs, the Parlors, the Telegrams, the MeWes, any of that?
No, not right now. I think we have our plate pretty full, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the market, what the hell's going on with inflation, what's going on. Yeah. I mean,
so I'm assuming you don't have a link tree.
No.
Yes.
Oh
Ron, see, she doesn't have a link tree either. It's all right. It's okay.
Many of us
but
don't,
I will
Brad.
tell you that
Sorry.
what we did do today is we took some profit in Grayscale Digital Large Cap. So we do like to take a profit when you get these kind of big moves. We had an over-the-counter thing, this GDLC. So we took some profit on that this morning. We took some profit in energy, because I'm an old commodities trader. So one thing I know about commodities is when they get super emotional and you get those kind of parabolic moves,
Right.
probably good to like sell into them a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and then raise your stop. So yeah, just this morning we're coming in and I haven't really done anything yet and all our positions are in a good situation. But one last thing to mention is gold and silver. Keep your eye on those. You and I talk about that a lot. And even though they're still so undervalued, I keep my eye on silver in particular.
All right. Silver it is. We'll keep our eye on that. And
Yeah.
all right,
Keep your eye on it.
hang in there. Glad you are recovering from the cold. Glad you're still above ground and all that good stuff. And again, find Mish over at marketgauge.com. Talk to you again soon. All righty. It's in explaining this to my former banker friend, or friend who is a former banker, you find yourself, they're skeptical because, he's used to dealing with tangible stuff.
Right.
And I guess you can make the same argument with stocks. So, you're just, you're getting this piece of paper that says that you own, whatever shares of whatever company, but you don't even really get that with Bitcoin. You have some app somewhere says, all right, well, you theoretically own this. It really is. I mean, it's thinking way outside the box. The more you think about digital and cryptocurrency, it's just this concept. Because if the problem with it, if the power ever goes out, womp womp.
Yeah.
It's but wait, when the power comes on, I show you how much Bitcoin I have. That's the weird part, and it's good for the society as it stands right now. Now, if Yellowstone decides it's going to go boom, not so much. But I guess we'll cross one disaster as we get to it. Before we obviously take our leave today, we need to tell you about the latest, most exciting announcement from Romika Designs. And go ahead and tell them the latest there, Ron, because I know big announcement, right? A huge announcement.
No, actually, we don't have a huge announcement yet. I mean, we. Well, I mean, look, we partnered with Mojo 50 to do the Mojo 50 2021 Christmas ornament.
That's on my link tree. Did you know that? I have.
It is on your link tree.
That's
why I brought it up.
Get it right there.
Yep, and we've got a couple more things that we're going to be adding to the website coming up in the next day or two. We've done a bunch of jewelry. Yeah, we've done a bunch of wooden and acrylic jewelry we're going to be putting up. So, yeah.
Where is the I'm looking for the ornament on the
you won't see the ornament on our website.
Well, that'd be why I can't find it.
Yeah, you have to go to the mojo50.com.
Why don't you okay.
/donate.
Yeah. Oh,
page.
That's right.
It's actually on the front page of the website now. I
what?
Put it on the front page. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. You did that?
Pretty sure I did. Click the front. Yeah, just click the logo there.
I did click. Okay.
No, refresh the page.
All right, we're going to refresh the page.
Yeah, refresh.
Look at that up there at the top. Now available,
there
it
you
says.
Go. Yeah.
Look at you. Aren't you something?
It's because you bitched at me for not.
I didn't bitch at you. I just asked you about it. That's all I did. Simply asked you, but you took it on yourself. You are a self-starter. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Ron Phillips, you are amazing to me.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that. Not as amazing as American Pride Roasters coffee, and I did want to talk about that before because the Whitfield again on Saturday night when Tim Barton was talking at the Mercury One 10th anniversary celebration. It was he kept saying George Whitfield, and I'm saying no, it's George Whitefield. I mean, it's right there. There's an E between the T and the F, and so it's like Tim Barton doesn't even know how to pronounce Whitefield. Like, how can you people not? I mean, you're very smart people. How did none of you look at that and say that's George Whitefield? But again, if you want to go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, you'll find not only the George apparently Whitfield. I'll go with popular opinion. You can find the George Whitfield and then look into the background because I'm telling you, when and again, Tim Barton made it sound so easy. The Great Awakening, he spoke so fast, like you got to record him. He's like Judy Mikovits. who I actually had to record and then play back like 3/4 speed just so I could. But listen to Tim Barton's explanation of the Great Awakening and George Whitefield and what these cats were able to do at the beginning of our country, and how absolutely screwed up the message has become. With the mainstream media and these progressives and these activists, how they've been able to twist the message and twist the words of these people is stunning. But support a great American business, which is again run by a great American, a couple of great Americans, and do it before the postal rates go up, because pretty soon the U.S. government, once again, I know, Postal Service, technically not part of the government, but they are part of the government. Don't you love that too? Yeah, these aren't your tax dollars supporting the Postal Service, but they kind of are. Kind of are. It's like, all right, well, there you go. There's the government again, not doing anything well. So get your American Pride Roasters coffee before all of the prices go up. They bend you over and hose you without even kissing you. Again, it's that'd be the government, not American Pride Roasters. They'll at least kiss you. AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Is that the cue, Brad? Okay.
I don't know. It just sounded to me like I did put some emphasis on the right syllable.
Yeah, do it again.
AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
What do you mean it's let's go?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Just like we rehearsed.
Couldn't see the cue today. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like you can any day?
I can see the cue almost every day.
Well, how come you don't use it? Yeah, we've reached the end of 2 hours of insanity.
You don't want to know what I've learned today.
You're not even wearing pants. So. It's Monday. It is the 11th day of October, the year of our Lord 2021. Let's find out what. People, have you learned anything? Of course you haven't. I don't know why I even ask you. Nope. Dr. Mojo Martian learned Real Brad Staggs gets $1 for every link-free mention. He's up to $1,000 so far for this month. I may or may not get a little stipend, just for saying stuff. Rebel Patriot loves silver. I buy as often as I can. But do you actually get the silver, or do you just get some little piece of paper that says you own silver somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Just asking. I mean, it's, again, you can't see it. It doesn't really exist, but it's worth $57,000 per each one of these imaginary thingies.
Correct.
And then when she started talking about the NFTs, what'd she say?
Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah. Like pictures of penguins. It's
amazing, right?
Not a boring time to be alive. Let's be frank in PA. What do you get when you buy futures? That's true. Well, but even futures, you are basing it on the future cost of like coffee or wheat or, gas, I guess, or, grains, whatever. But I don't know. And again, I wish I was smarter. Richmond Joe, crypto coins, the best form of money you can own until the sun hits the earth with a huge EMP. Yeah, it's true. DMXDM says the E is silent, Brad. Okay.
Whitfield.
Okay, then why isn't the second E silent? Why isn't it Whitfield?
Whitfield.
Yeah, if the E's are silent, you can't, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. Coming up on most of these Mojo 50 radio stations is the encore presentation of Abnormal Realities, where apparently Ron and Rocky get spanked. Huh?
Well, no, it wasn't from that show, but this is a replay of Friday night's Freaky Friday, and it was a complete train wreck. Enjoy.
So business as usual.
God,
your Daily Mojo is made possible by the invisible fingers of Ron Phillips spinning those dials radio style. Remember, smallest minority on earth, the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. Sic semper tyrannis, resist stupid, and good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.
Bell counts next.
Clear?
You don't have to hang around. What is it to you? I mean, you just leave because, no one really, whatever. You do your own thing, or you can hang here.
Good morning, Mojo 50. I'm Leprechaun, and here with the bell count for the Daily Mojo, Monday, October 11th, 2021. Today there were no missed innuendo bells, one actual bell, and a rip shot. Peace out, boys. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to y'all on the morrow.
Will you now? Will you?
On the morrow.
This is here is a word that you should actually I would think this is right up your alley, so to speak.
All right, hit me.
The word of the day today is
fartlek.
Chocolate.
Fartlek.
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 I have no idea what that word is.
Fartlek.
Fartlek.
Fartlek. I have no idea, dude.
Well,
is it German? What is that?
Sure. I think it's Swedish.
Oh, Swedish?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. It's a noun. It's a training technique used especially among runners, consisting of bursts of intense effort, loosely alternating with less strenuous activity.
Fartlek.
I think that's bogus. I don't think that really exists. But frankly, I think that they are punking us on that one.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me. Unless you have something else.
I do not.
Is a wrap.
Well, I hope that you get your hamsters fed and your.
I got to run to Best Buy, pick up a new hamster.
You do that, and love y'all. Mean it.